In the middle of the night, a violent storm suddenly broke out. Jack opened the door, looked outside, and stood frozen, witnessing a spectacle the city had never seen before. Debris was swirling through the air in the fierce wind, and even utility poles were being uprooted and toppled. Jack quickly shut the door. Just as his mother stepped forward to comfort him, a large tree crashed through the wall of the house and struck his mother directly on the head. She immediately collapsed to the ground and lost consciousness. Just as Jack was in a state of panic, floodwaters reached the doorstep, smashed through the wooden door, and surged inside. Jack tried to lift his mother to higher ground to save her from the rushing water, but his small body lacked the necessary strength. Fortunately, the mother regained consciousness just in time, and the two of them quickly rushed up the stairs to safety. After the storm subsided, the entire city lay in ruins, and hundreds of people had lost their lives in the natural disaster. The city's power grid completely collapsed, and most of the trees in the forest were uprooted. Police and rescue workers, as people busied themselves with saving the injured and restoring their homes, the search for the missing boy was abandoned. Seizing this opportunity, Jack secretly ventured into the forest. Gazing at the devastation, he felt a sense of deep satisfaction. He believed the secret of his crime was now buried forever beneath the earth. Yet he did not realize that he would have to bear the consequences of concealing this truth for the rest of his life. 20 years pass in the blink of an eye. Everyone in the town, except for the missing boy's family, has forgotten him. Jack has now grown up to become a successful doctor in the town and has a lovely girlfriend. He had thought that with the passage of time, the past had been erased. But suddenly, new development work begins in the town, and lumberjacks arrive in the forest to clear away fallen trees. This causes Jack's old fears to resurface. When the lumberjacks get dangerously close to the spot where the body is hidden, Jack can no longer sit idly at home. Deciding to take matters into his own hands to protect his past, Jack gathered some tools from home and headed to that old spot under the cover of darkness. He intended to completely destroy the remains of the body. At that moment, the wood-cutting machine was just a few steps away from the site. He gazed into the crevice and felt disheartened, seeing that a portion of his friend's jacket had not yet decomposed. Since the crevice was very narrow, he tried to pull the corpse out using a spade, but the 20-year-old clothes were disintegrating and tearing apart from decay. Just as he was about to try again, a woodcutter approached, drawn by the beam of his flashlight. Realizing the situation had turned precarious, Jack fled the scene. Shortly after Jack left, the woodcutter discovered the mystery hidden within the crevice of the rock. The next day, the police held a press conference and confirmed that the body found in the crevice was indeed that of the missing boy. After the autopsy, doctors stated that the boy had been murdered. He died from a blow to the head caused by a heavy object, such as a stone or a club. The forensic team discovered a hair on the deceased boy's jacket, a hair left behind by the killer during the crime. Upon learning that DNA analysis identified the hair as belonging to a white male with brown hair, Jack felt as though his breath had been snatched away. Just then, the dead boy's father cried out, demanding that the killer be identified by testing the DNA of everyone in the town. However, the police officer remarked that the killer might not be from the city, and conducting DNA tests on everyone would entail a massive waste of money and manpower. The police devised a plan. They would store the DNA from this hair in a database so that the killer could be arrested if he ever underwent a DNA test in the future. This might take many years, or even decades. Hearing this, Jack breathed a sigh of relief and silently resolved never to take a DNA test himself. But the next day, a big surprise awaited Jack at work. An elderly driver from the city approached him and handed him a package. Curious, Jack opened the package and found the digital watch he had lost 20 years ago. In fact, 20 years ago, when Jack was returning after hiding the body, this driver was passing by. Although Jack had hidden behind a tree, the driver spotted him. Upon hearing the news of the boy's disappearance that day, the driver suspected Jack. Although he did not find the body, he discovered Jack's watch in the forest. Now that the body had been found, his suspicion was proven 100% correct. However, he did not hand Jack over to the police because he secretly admired Jack's widowed mother and did not want to cause her any pain. Before leaving the city for good, the driver leaves it up to Jack to decide whether or not to surrender. Having said this, the driver leaves the city. While Jack is deep in thought, his girlfriend shares the good news that she is 3 months pregnant. However, Jack claims it is impossible and expresses doubt about whether the child is his. Angered, his girlfriend suggests a DNA test. The mere mention of a DNA test makes Jack panic, and he is compelled to agree to marry her. In truth, he had absolutely no desire to go through with this marriage, for the woman he loved was none other than the sister of his deceased friend. He could not fathom how he would face that family after the wedding. Despite much deliberation, Jack could not summon the courage to turn himself in to the police, nor did the young woman's family ever discover that the man who had killed their son was right there before their eyes. Jack might have escaped the reach of the law, but the rest of his life turned into a mental prison. Although he appeared calm on the outside, the guilt within was constantly tearing him apart. Whenever he faced his deceased friend's family, he was reminded of his own crime. This mental anguish and his dark past became a permanent nightmare in his life. So friends, do let me know in the comments how you liked the story, and please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you.